Do you react to chemicals? When I got in the elevator this morning, I realized that this was something I wanted to discuss. So, got in the elevator, smelled a perfume, knew who had recently been in the elevator. I used to have another friend in my life who, boy, you could smell her yards before she got anywhere near you. And it's not that it was unpleasant, but the individual probably doesn't realize how odorous they are. Not necessarily malodorous, but how much perfume they're using and maybe what that's doing to their health as well as other people's health. When we were in Europe this past summer and we were in Florence, which is an amazingly beautiful city, what I was struck with, however, was that I felt like I was indoors, even though I was outdoors, because there were so many perfumes and colognes coming at me one after the next. And it was October. It wasn't even the heart of the summer when most people, and it's not like you could say it was super hot. It wasn't at all. And nor was it super crowded. I just couldn't believe how much perfume smell was coming at me. So I wanted to discuss this just because of the issues with fertility being on the rise and cancer being on the rise, and really looking at what these chemicals can do. And there's certain chemicals we have trouble getting away from, just generally things that are in the air and exhaust and air pollution. You can get a filter at home, you can get an air purifier at home, but day to day there's certain things we really don't have control over. But what we do have control over are some of the shampoos and certainly perfumes. But perfumes are in everything. They're in deodorant and they're in laundry soap. And so one thing I would recommend that you do, there's a great group. They don't have every single product in the world, but the Environmental Working Group, so it's ewg.org, and you can go there and you can look up products that you use to see kind of what the risk profile is of the product. And it can be really quite helpful when you're trying to determine kind of what to buy next, because things like styrene, which is potentially cancer causing, is in a lot of cosmetics. And then there's phthalates and parabens with a B, VOCs, what else? Oh, BPA, the PFAS, which are called the forever chemicals. So all of these things are known to be endocrine disruptors, so they're altering your hormones, altering your fertility, also increasing your risk of diabetes. They can affect your heart. They can affect you neurologically as far as getting headaches and migraines and even dizziness and augmenting dementia based on some studies. Reproductive issues, I think I mentioned. Then there's lung issues with just people who are sensitive as far as asthma, or they have various lung diseases, and they can get around perfumes and just have trouble breathing because of the inhalation. So there's that, which is a little bit more obvious, but then there's the more subtle issues like infertility, long-term exposure causing cancer risk, diabetes, altering your heart rate, your resting heart rate, as well as your blood pressure. So aggravating things that you're not even aware of. And it's in your dryer sheets, and you have air fresheners in your house, and there's a certain relative of my husband's and mine, and I walk into the house and I can barely make it, and I'm not a highly sensitive person, but everything they use has a scent. And so even sleeping in the guest bed is too much, because the sheets, smell, and it's just kind of overwhelming. And as I said, I'm not even a chemically sensitive person, so I can only imagine what somebody chemically sensitive would feel like. But these are things that can really sneak into your environment, and you're not aware of it's the long-term impact. It's not going into the elevator and smelling somebody's perfume on one day, or being in an elevator with somebody who has really strong perfume one day. It's this accumulation of these chemicals coming at you from so many different areas in your life. And certainly when it comes to your own deodorant and your own shampoo, you can really make a difference in your personal exposure. And that was something that was mentioned, was prolonged personal overuse puts you at risk for these various diseases. And that's something you do have control over, and you can certainly talk to close friends. I mean, here at the clinic, if somebody comes in with a strong cologne or perfume, we ask them to please not wear that the next time they come to the clinic. And and I remember one woman, she was like summer, and she's like, "Oh, I just spritzed right before I got out of the car." And I'm like, right, so let's not do that next time, because there are patients who are sensitive. So that's the excuse we use, but it's very real, and we're trying to lower our exposure and make sure we're not certainly aggravating anybody with a chemical sensitivity. So when we're looking at just overall what you can do to improve your health, we talk here a lot about diet and lifestyle, certainly, but that includes these things that we don't even think about, because we wake up and we wash our bodies with our soap and our body wash, and we put on deodorant, and we don't think about all of these exposures. Now, I do want to speak to those of you who are very chemically sensitive, because we find that there's a lot we can do for patients like yourself, and that is to certainly look at overall gut health, look at detoxification channels of your body, look at your genetics, because certain people genetically have what's called certain SNPs. So single nucleotide polymorphisms is what SNPs stand for, but basically it's what you inherited from mom and dad that make you a little less able to do certain things. In other words, like detox certain chemical pathways. And the good thing is you can augment with certain nutrition that allows those chemical pathways to then function again optimally, and so you're less the adverse effect of these chemicals. So we do look at genetics, we look at your ability to detoxify, looking at your liver, looking at your hormone balance, and also looking at gut health. So these are the various things we look at to improve your ability to deal with chemicals, because some people are really very, very sensitive, and they can just get in an elevator even for a couple of minutes, and then they've got a migraine and they feel awful the rest of the day. So that is a very real type of phenomena. But then there's that insidious long-term exposure that, you go, I like the smell of that, I don't like the smell of that, but just coming at your body over and over and over for years, and then what it's doing to our overall health. So check out the Environmental Working Group, the EWG. It's a .org, not a .com. And I have no affiliation, but I do find them to be helpful to kind of direct you to companies and away from other companies, so that you've got a clean product on hand. Okay, I hope you found that helpful. Make some small changes. A lot of small changes can end up to be a very meaningful change to your overall health, and that's what we want for you. So if you like the information on this channel, please subscribe so more people can see it, and give the video a thumbs up, share it with others, and we'll talk soon.